Dear friends and viewers, please first of all subscribe to my channel, let you know my new videos. Yes, I will talk about Toefl Ibt reading by details. As you know, before videos, I mentioned Toefl Ibt reading section, also listening section, also speaking section, also writing section. In this video, I will talk about reading Toefl Ibt by details. Yes, let's talk about. The reading section is the first section of the TOEFL. In this section, you must read 3 or 5 passages of about 700 words and answer questions that test your comprehension after each passage. All the reading passages are about the same length, but the number of passages, questions, and the total amount of time for this section can vary. On any TOEFL administration, you can receive between 3 and 5 reading passages, and you have anywhere from 60 to 100 minutes to read the passage and answer the questions depending on the number of passages. Also, each passage can have 12 to 14 questions, and the time is divided as follows: 20 minutes for the first passage, 40 minutes for the second and third passage, 40 minutes for the fourth and fifth passages. However, not all tests will have 5 passages, some may have only 3. The variation in the number of passages, questions, and amount of time is due to the curriculum development of the test writers for the exam. The test writers sometimes include new passages and or questions in order to assess their level of difficulty. You are not graded on these passages or questions, but your performance on them is used to modify the questions for later tests. The problem is you are not told which passages or questions are counted toward your mark, so you must read all passages and answer all questions as well as you can. In other words, you must assume that all of your answers will be used to calculate your score. All of the reading passages have academic topics from files commonly found in North American colleges and universities. The files include the arts, science, chemistry, physics, biology, math, the applied science, engineering, architecture, etc., and social science, psychology, sociology, etc. You are not required to have any specialized or advanced knowledge in these files. The reading passages and questions test your ability to read about an unfamiliar topic, comprehend, and learn. The passages fall into one of 3 types: exposition, narrative, or argument. An exposition or expository passage is a description and explanation of a topic. A narrative is a story, and usually an academic narrative involves historical events or biological discussion. A narrative is really of type of exposition since it describes and explains what happened. An argument, however, is an opinion or point of view about the topic, usually a position or for or against a particular theory or plan. Unlike an exposition, an argument is persuasive, which means that the writer wants to persuade or to convince the reader to agree with his opinion. After you read a passage, you must answer 12 to 14 questions. These questions test your comprehension of the writer's explanation or argument by asking about the detail, vocabulary, organization, key points, and implications in the passage. Each question type is examined thoroughly below, but first there is a review of basic reading strategies. General reading strategies. Regardless of the topic of the passage or the specific questions, you should always follow certain guidelines that will help you understand the passage better and prepare you to answer the questions more accurately. Use the following strategies whenever you are reading a passage on the TOEFL. Strategy 1. Be familiar with the instructions and skip them immediately. Be prepared for your exam by knowing the organization of the section and function of the various buttons on the screen. The time begins counting as soon as the reading section begins, so you shouldn't spend time reading the instructions that appear at the beginning of the section. If you are familiar with the instructions, you can skip them and go straight to the first reading passage. Review the following explanation and memorize them before your test. Feature timer explanation. There is a timer at the top of the screen during the entire section. As mentioned, you begin the reading section with 20 minutes to read the first passage and answer the questions. Then you have 40 minutes to finish the second and third passage. Finally, if your test includes a fourth and fifth passage, you have 40 minutes to complete both of them. The timer counts down from 20 or 30 depending on which part you are in. Scroll. Each reading passage is too long to fit entirely on the screen at once. Therefore, you must scroll or move up or down this passage by clicking on the arrows beside each passage with your mouse. This feature is similar to the one provided with Microsoft. Review button. By clicking once on this button with your mouse, you can see a review screen where you can see all the questions in the section and their status answered, not answered, or not yet seen. Back button. By clicking once on this button with your mouse, you return to the previous question. You can also change your answer if you want to, but only within 20 minutes or 40 minutes part. Once the timer ends and you move on to the next part, you can't go back. For example, once you finish the first passage and begin the second, you can't go back to the first because each passage is timed separately, 20 minutes for passage 1, 40 minutes for passage 2 and 3. Glossary. A word in blue in a passage indicates that a definition is available for the word. Clicking on the word brings up the definition. Each passage has only a small number of words highlighted in blue. Next button. By clicking on this button, you can call up the first at the beginning of the reading section. Also, after you have started a passage, each time you click on this button, you can skip a question and go to the next one. The back button returns you to the previous question. Don't wait for the first reading passage to appear at the start of the section. As long as you have memorized the instructions ahead of time, ignore them when they appear on the screen and click the next button to see the first reading passage. Strategy 2. Be familiar with the standard outline for passages, but be prepared for variations. TOEFL reading passages are organized according to the basic outline for essays in English. Understanding this organization is essential to all 4 sections of the TOEFL. The basic pattern for any passage is the paragraph, which is a group of sentences related to a unique topic or purpose. Any reading passage or lectures has several paragraphs with brief breaks or space between one paragraph and the next, and each paragraph gives a part of the author's main idea. The entire passage can be broken into 3 main sections: the introduction, body, and conclusion. Paragraph 1. Introduction. Hook, background, thesis, statement. Paragraph 2. Body paragraph. Topic sentence, detail, example, description, explanation, etc. Paragraph 3. Body paragraph. Topic sentence, detail, examples, description, explanation, etc. Paragraph 4. Body paragraph. Topic sentence, detail, examples, description, explanation, etc. Paragraph 5. Conclusion, restatement, paragraphs of the thesis, optional, final comment, redaction, recommendation, etc. The introduction. The first paragraph is the introduction, which begins with an opening remark or hook. Writers and speakers use hooks to generate interest in the audience. A hook can be a common observation from everyday life, a surprising or unusual fact, a personal or fictional anecdote, a rhetorical question, a quote, among many other possibilities. After the hook, the writer may or may not include background information, which is any information that the reader will need to follow the discussion or argument in the rest of the passage. Finally, the introduction ends with a thesis statement. The thesis statement is one sentence that states the writer's main idea, which is the writer's opinion, message, or subject, and possibly states the author's supporting points. Yes. Notice the writer's book. An opening remark mentions an ancient philosopher's belief about the composition of living things. And I will read you an example composition, but later video. Please first of all subscribe to my channel, let you know my new videos. Let's go on another video.